If you've ever shared your home with a cat, you've probably experienced this puzzling moment. Your cat sits silently, eyes wide, gazing at a blank wall. No bugs, no shadows, no obvious reason, just endless staring. For many cat owners in the United States, this behavior feels mysterious, even a little creepy. Is my cat seeing something I can't? Is it a ghost? Or is it just one of those quirky cat habits? The truth is, cats are far more perceptive than we give them credit for. Their senses, sight, hearing, and even their whiskers, allow them to pick up on tiny details humans usually miss. So, when a cat stares at a wall, it's not random. There are several fascinating explanations rooted in science, instinct, and feline psychology. In this script, we'll dive deep into the mystery of wall-staring cats. From the biological reasons behind their sharp senses, to the emotional and environmental triggers that may cause this behavior, we'll uncover everything you need to know. One of the first reasons cats may stare at walls is due to their extraordinary eyesight. Cats don't see the world like humans do. Their eyes are built for low-light hunting, which means they pick up subtle movements and flickers that often escape us. A cat's vision can detect small bugs or tiny specks of dust moving along a wall, things we would never notice. To us, the wall looks empty, but to them, it's alive with microscopic activity. Cats are also sensitive to changes in light. A small reflection from a glass, the flicker of sunlight hitting the wall, or even subtle shadows can grab their attention. Their wide field of vision makes it easier for them to lock onto something and remain completely still, just watching intently. So, when your cat stares at a wall for minutes on end, it could simply mean there's something too small or too subtle for you to see. Cats aren't just visual hunters, they're auditory experts. Their hearing is far sharper than ours, allowing them to detect sounds we could never pick up. In fact, cats can hear frequencies up to 64 kilohertz, which is almost twice what dogs can hear and more than 3 times higher than the human limit. So, what does this mean when your cat is staring at a wall? Rodents in the walls. In many U.S. homes, especially older ones, small critters like mice or squirrels can make their way into walls. Your cat may hear scratching, gnawing, or even the soft shuffle of paws. While you may not notice a thing, your cat's radar-like ears pick it up instantly. Plumbing and pipes. So, cats might be intrigued by the sound of running water, those little creaks, or maybe even gurgles inside the walls when you turn on a sink or, when the heating system kicks in. Buzzing electronics. Believe it or not, some cats are actually sensitive enough to hear the faint electrical hum from wires or outlets behind a wall. For cats, staring at a wall could be like watching a live-action mystery. They're simply waiting for the source of the sound to reveal itself. Beyond vision and hearing, cats also have heightened sensitivity to vibrations. Their whiskers and paws can detect tiny shifts in the environment. If a wall carries the faint vibration of movement, whether it's from pipes, critters, or even wind, your cat may become fascinated. This explains why sometimes they'll not only stare but also paw at the wall, tilt their head, or even meow as if they're trying to communicate with whatever's inside. While medical and environmental explanations offer important insights, many times the reason behind a cat staring at walls comes down to psychology. Cats are deeply curious creatures with complex minds, and their behavior often reflects what is happening internally rather than externally. One of the strongest driving forces behind this wall-staring phenomenon is curiosity. Cats are natural observers. Their instinct is to monitor their surroundings for any movement or sound, even when we humans may not notice anything at all. A blank wall may not look interesting to us, but for a cat, even the smallest shadow, the faint hum of a pipe, or a change in light reflection can capture attention for several minutes. This intense focus is part of their survival instinct. By studying details in their environment, they keep themselves alert and safe. Another major factor is boredom. Indoor cats, especially those without enough stimulation, often develop quirky habits to entertain themselves. Staring at walls can become a form of self-created activity, almost like a daydream. When cats lack toys, climbing spaces, or interactive play with their humans, they may start fixating on unusual spots in their home environment. It may look like they are staring into nothing, but in reality, they are simply trying to occupy their curious minds. Stress and anxiety also play a critical role. Cats that feel unsettled, whether due to a recent move, a new pet in the household, or changes in routine, often display unusual behaviors. Staring at walls can be a coping mechanism, providing a form of comfort or escape. The act of focusing intently on one spot may help calm them, similar to how humans sometimes stare blankly at a wall when lost in thought or trying to manage stress. Some behaviorists even suggest that wall staring can resemble a cat entering a trance-like state. In such moments they may appear still and unresponsive, but it is often their way of processing overwhelming feelings or dealing with overstimulation from their environment. Understanding these psychological reasons is key for cat owners. It helps us recognize that wall staring is not always a problem to be solved, but sometimes just part of the feline personality. However, if boredom or stress is the cause, owners can improve the situation with more interactive play, environmental enrichment, and creating a secure, stable routine for their cats. Throughout history, cats have been surrounded by mystery, and their strange behaviors often inspired myths and cultural beliefs. Wall staring, in particular, has been linked to supernatural explanations for centuries. While modern science offers rational reasons, it's fascinating to see how different cultures have interpreted this behavior. In ancient Egypt, cats were considered sacred animals, believed to be connected with the divine. If a cat stared intently at a wall or into an empty corner, Egyptians thought it might be communicating with the gods or seeing a spirit that humans could not perceive. Because cats were associated with protection and mystical powers, such behavior was never seen as strange, it was seen as a blessing. In European folklore, especially during the Middle Ages, cats staring at walls or into the darkness were often thought to be signs of paranormal activity. People believed cats could see ghosts, fairies, or even witches' spirits moving through the house. If a cat fixed its gaze on a wall, many assumed it was warning its owners of an unseen presence. In Japanese culture, cats are sometimes believed to possess spiritual sensitivity. A cat staring at a blank wall could be interpreted as noticing a kami or spirit passing by or detecting energies in the home. Rather than fearing this, some saw it as a protective act, as if the cat was guarding the household from invisible dangers. In modern superstitions, many still think cats staring at walls means they see something humans cannot, whether it's a ghost, an aura, or even a sign of bad luck. On social media, countless videos have fueled these beliefs, where cats suddenly fixate on a corner, making their owners uneasy. Although these myths are not scientifically proven, they reveal how deeply cats' mysterious behaviors have influenced human imagination. Wall staring in particular has always symbolized the idea that cats live partly in our world and partly in another, one we cannot see. While wall staring can often be explained by curiosity, boredom, or even cultural myths, there are times when this behavior may point to an underlying medical issue. Cat owners in the United States and around the world should learn how to recognize the warning signs so they can take action before a small issue becomes serious. One medical concern linked to wall staring is neurological disorders. Cats suffering from seizures or cognitive dysfunction may display unusual staring behaviors. Sometimes wall staring is a symptom of feline epilepsy, where the cat briefly enters a trance-like state. Older cats, on the other hand, may experience feline cognitive dysfunction syndrome, which is kind of similar to dementia in humans, and that can cause confusion and repetitive staring. Another possibility is vision or hearing problems. Cats rely heavily on their senses, and if they begin to lose eyesight or hearing, they may appear to stare at walls more frequently. For example, a cat with declining vision may fixate on light patterns or shadows that others don't see, while a cat with hearing issues may be focusing on subtle vibrations in the wall. Head trauma or brain injury can also lead to staring spells. If a cat has recently fallen, been hit, or suffered an accident, staring behavior should be taken seriously as it may signal brain swelling or nerve damage. Additionally, liver disease, hypertension, or toxin exposure can sometimes cause disorientation, leading cats to stare into space. In such cases, wall staring is often accompanied by other symptoms like lack of appetite, excessive vocalization, lethargy, or changes in grooming habits. For cat owners, the key is to observe whether the wall staring is occasional and harmless or frequent and paired with other concerning signs. If the behavior becomes repetitive, prolonged, or unusual compared to the cat's normal habits, it is wise to consult a veterinarian immediately. Early diagnosis can make a huge difference in treatment and quality of life. In short, while wall staring is often a quirky part of feline behavior, sometimes it's their way of signaling that something is wrong inside their body. Recognizing this difference can save a cat's life. When your cat suddenly starts staring at walls, your first instinct might be worry, or even frustration if it happens often. But the best response is calm observation. Cats are highly sensitive animals and they often mirror the energy of their environment. If you panic or overreact, your cat may also become stressed. The first step is to monitor the behavior closely. Ask yourself, Is the staring brief or prolonged? Does it happen at specific times of day? Is it always in the same spot? Are there any other symptoms like unusual meowing, loss of appetite, or clumsiness? If the behavior seems harmless, say, your cat stares for a minute or two then returns to play, it may just be curiosity. In this case, offering mental and physical stimulation can help. Interactive toys, puzzle feeders, or even simple feather wands can redirect your cat's attention. Window perches or cat trees also provide new perspectives that satisfy their natural hunting instincts. For cats who stare because they sense small noises or movements in the wall, you might want to check the environment. Sometimes pipes, electrical wiring, or even pests like mice can make subtle sounds. Fixing the source of the distraction may resolve the behavior. If you suspect medical reasons, especially if wall staring comes with additional changes like disorientation, bumping into objects, or excessive vocalization, then the safest step is to schedule a veterinary visit. Bringing a video recording of your cat's staring episodes can help the vet assess what's happening more accurately. Finally, remember that cats thrive in environments where they feel safe and enriched. Providing routine playtime and comfort can really go a long way in reducing odd behaviors. In many cases, wall staring is just another quirky cat habit, but your calm and attentive response ensures your pet's well-being. Cats have always fascinated humans with their mysterious behaviors, and wall staring is no exception. Beyond scientific explanations, this behavior has inspired countless fun facts and quirky theories, some based on folklore, others simply on observation. So, cats as ghost spotters. Now that's an interesting idea. In many cultures, cats are believed to have a sixth sense. Some people claim that when a cat stares at a wall, they might actually be detecting spirits or supernatural energies. While science doesn't support this, it's a fun and honestly pretty spooky theory that has been around for centuries. So, the insect radar. Here's something pretty interesting. Cats actually have sharper vision for detecting movement than humans do. Even a tiny fly, a moth, or just a shadow that we would completely miss can keep them entertained for long minutes. It's almost like your cat is running its own insect surveillance system. Just like humans sometimes zone out while staring at blank spaces, cats may simply be daydreaming. Wall staring could be their version of meditation, quiet, focused, and peaceful. Some quirky theories suggest cats can detect Earth's magnetic fields. While still unproven, cats' whiskers and sensory systems are incredibly sensitive, so it's possible they pick up subtle environmental cues we don't notice. Many cat owners joke that their pets are waiting for a magical door to open in the wall, like a hidden portal to another world. It may not be true, but it captures the whimsical charm of feline behavior perfectly. These quirky ideas remind us that while science explains much of cat behavior, there's always room for imagination. After all, part of what makes cats so special is the mystery they bring into our lives.